Think of your email list like a garden. You wouldn't just plant a whole bunch of seeds and then leave them to their own devices. And it's the same with your email list. If you want them to open your emails, click on your links, and actually buy, you have to nurture them. And if you only show up when you want something, your subscribers are going to unsubscribe as quick as pushing that button on their mouse allows them to do. So, in the last video, if you haven't watched that, it's up on your screen right now. We talked about attracting your dream clients and how to fix your sales in your coaching and course business if they've been dropping, that type of thing. So, we talked about that, which is what you want to go and check out right now. But what I want to talk about today is what do you do now that you've attracted your amazing dream clients, right? They're all hanging out in your email list. What do you do with them next? Because you can't just go straight from bringing someone into your world and then bopping them over the head with your latest and greatest offer. Although there is a way that you can do that, but that's for another video. So, what we tend to do, and typically what most coaches and course creators are told to do, is bring people into your world, bring them into your email list, send a welcome sequence, and then immediately start promoting to them. Now, I'm all for promoting to people in your world, but there is a way to do that. And the problem with promotion only content is that your audience then start to get really annoyed, which eventually leads to unsubscribes. And I would say more so than anything now, if you only send emails out when you've got something to promote, as in, here's this new thing, I'm super excited about it, here's how you can buy it, that is when you're going to get most unsubscribes. And here's why you want to avoid that. With the latest changes in all of the email service providers, so Yahoo, Google, all the things, right? Outlook, whoever you are using for your own personal email, they have decided to make it really difficult. They've made it so that in order for an email to land into somebody's inbox, they have to meet a whole bunch of criteria. So that means you have to have set up things like DKIM, DMARC, all of those types of things. And you should have done that with your email marketing platform, right? That should have already been done. And that basically tells the email service providers that your domain is a legitimate domain, that you've been verified, that you are a living, breathing person that is running a business that is legitimate. And that's why deliverability is so important. But here's the other piece of that. You have to maintain that reputation. You have to maintain your domain sending reputation. And if you start getting a whole bunch of people unsubscribing from your emails, or worse, complaining, which is what people will do if you only send promotion emails, then your deliverability, your domain reputation is going to go down. Now, the rule of thumb is this: you want to maintain on a rolling 30 days an unsubscribe rate of less than 0.3%. And yes, that is 0.3%, not 3%, 0.3%. It's a very small margin. But here's the thing: if you are a genuine person looking to help your audience, this is really easy to continue to do. Like, it's really easy to maintain that low unsubscribe rate if you are nurturing your email subscribers. And so today we are talking about the nurture component in the daily sales ecosystem. So in our previous video, we talked about the grow phase. Now we're going to talk about the nurture phase and what that really looks like. So I'm going to walk you through what you can do to nurture your people. And there are a couple of different frameworks and strategies that you can use to do this and make it really, really easy on yourself. So first things first, the whole point of the nurture phase is to connect with your audience, to build, know, like, and trust. Now, we're not just going to nurture in our emails. We definitely want to have some type of discoverability component in the mix. And what I mean by that is we want to ensure that we've got a long form content platform happening as well. So that could be a blog, that could be a YouTube channel like this one, or a podcast. Those are the long form content platforms, and that's where your discoverability should be happening. And when I say discoverability, basically what I'm saying is your dream clients, your ready to buy customers, if they type something to the search engine, is your content showing up? That's discoverability at its very simplest. So we want to definitely be doing that. But then we also want to ensure that our people on our email list are hearing from us on a regular basis. So at a minimum, that looks like one email a week. But honestly, I would really encourage you and challenge you to do 2 to 3 emails a week. Personally, I send an email every single day except for Saturdays. And sometimes I do send an email on a Saturday. So it is 9 times out of 10, 6 days a week that I am actually emailing my people. And that's my visibility, right? This is where I'm hanging out. And every single piece of content that goes out is based on nurturing my audience, but selling to my audience. So here's how this can work for you right now. You're probably sitting there going, dang, I struggle already just to send one email a week. How on earth can I increase that to 2 to 3 times a week? Well, it's really simple. And it starts with this: we reverse engineer what we're selling. So every single month, we should be planning out our promotions, right? We should be doing that. So by knowing what you're selling, you can then create content based off of the sales page for that offer. You can create content around what the problems that your audience is struggling with and that your offer solves, right? That's what your nurture content becomes. Now we're going to bake in some stories. And this is the magic key that unlocks everything, is using stories to sell your offers, because your audience now connects with what you're saying, particularly if you're sharing stories that they can relate to, right? Like things that they've experienced, or they've gone, wow, yeah, I could totally see myself having that happen. Or, oh my gosh, this literally happened to me last week. That's what we want to do. So here's a very simple practice that you can do today to start capturing stories that you can then turn around and use in your emails. Are you ready? Grab a pen and paper. It's pretty simple. You're going to ask this question at the end of the day: what happened today? That's it. And then what you're going to do is either write down what happened today, or you're going to record it. And recording is my preferred method. I use the Otter.ai app to do that. I love that because it transcribes at the same time as I'm talking. And I will literally just recount what happened. Now, my day to day looks pretty similar. I get up generally around the same time, and I have a few daily cash flow activities that I'm doing every single day. So I know what the majority of my day is going to look like. However, there's always nuances. There's always things that happen. So things like an email could come through and maybe that triggers me in some way. So I'm going to talk about that. Or maybe my husband interrupts me in the middle of a video, which can happen. Maybe the power goes out because we're hanging out in Vietnam. And how do I deal with that? Right. So that's what I mean about going through and capturing stories. Now, when you're doing this, what I don't want you to do is sit there and go, okay, well, how am I going to use this story? That's not the purpose of that particular practice. You just want to capture the stories. So capture them, put them in a place where you can access them. Then the next step is to go, okay, I've got all these stories and I know the offers that I'm going to be promoting this month. What content am I going to create that helps someone realize something? So this is where you need to sit down and go, okay, what are the biggest blocks, myths, beliefs that my audience has around why they couldn't do the thing that I'm going to help them with, right? What is the thing that is going to stop them from buying your thing? You want to create your nurture content around busting any of that stuff. So busting myths, busting beliefs, busting whatever preconceived idea they've got. And that's where your stories come in, right? That's how you use stories in your nurture content. The other way that you can create content is simply based on your own messaging. So, what is your overarching messaging? Who is it that you're trying to help? What are the things that you always want them to walk away with? And so you can kind of filter things through that. So that's the nurture framework in and of itself, very, very simplified. There are lots of different things that you can do, but those are probably the 2 things that you can implement today to actually start nurturing your audience. But it does start with reverse engineering. What offer am I promoting, or what offers am I promoting? And what stories do I have where I can bust the myths, anything that they're thinking about why they can't do this, right? That's what our stories are for. And then at the end of every single email, there should be a clear call to action. Here's how I can support you, or if this really resonated, here is how you can get support, or here's the next step. And then you hyperlink to that, right? Very intentional. And then in your PS, you want to add a little bit more story. Don't include another link. It's just another PS that says, hey, caught you hanging out down here in the PS. I often say that. I know that you're thinking this, this, and this, right? You want to really speak to whatever it is that they're kind of struggling with. And then you go, I know because I've been there, I've done that, whatever your experience is. And this is exactly why this offer is great for you. Make sure you click that link and go and check it out. And then you just have an emoji that points back up. That's what I do. But you do you, right? You get to be you, your personality, all of those things. But that's how you want to approach the nurture phase in the daily sales ecosystem. And if you want more along the lines of what the daily sales ecosystem looks like, in the next video, we are going to talk through what the sell phase looks like. That's coming up on your screen right now. I'm going to see you in that video.